Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and taking a day off. Actually, it's my birthday today. Although, well, anyway, what can I say? I'm more than officially a senior citizen. 66 today. Crazy. How did that happen? Anyway, yeah, we just had a nice cloud burst. It was sunny a little while ago, really hot, and then back to rain. But let's talk a little bit about some basic things here. 30 years ago when I started Oxy-Dry, one of the things that I was determined to do was I was determined to use the rotary machine because I already felt that the rotary machine was had tremendous potential to be a really serious and significant machine to clean carpets with. And over the years, I have tried to perfect the using of it, and making it what I think its full potential really is, which is, I think, the better way to clean carpets than anything else out there in almost every case. But one of the things that I did is right from the very beginning, I determined that I would use the tank on the machine and shower feed. Now, I've done spraying of the carpet before as well. I experimented with that for a few years as well. But initially, I was using a tank on my machine and shower feeding, and I was always preferring to do that. But I did explore the idea of pre-spraying too. I had pump-up sprayers. I actually even had some Pepsi sprayers for a while there, and pumped up with an air compressor and everything. And but I always ended up coming back to the shower feeding because I was sure that it was more efficient and easier to use. I've proven that over many years, 30 years actually. I've been doing it this with the rotary, and over 10 years I put out hundreds and hundreds of videos showing again and again that how effectively one can clean with this. But one of the things that's come up on comments on different forums and things like that is people will say, well, you can't shower feed because it's going to wash right through the pad, and it's going to saturate the pad, and you won't be able to pick up, and it'll just soak the whole pad, and your solution will go through and wash dirt into the backing, and all kinds of things that are, well, I'll be really blunt. It's simply not true. And I know that because I've been doing it this way for 30 years. So, and it's funny how people will say this, but you will see them actually do a video proving it. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to prove to you that this using the shower feeding works very well, and you won't wash the solution through the pad, soaking the pad and washing dirt into the backing. And I've got many videos where I show this. But here we have a two-way pad. Very simple, very thin pad. I don't actually use these a lot, but occasionally I'll use them on a carpet. Most of the time in the past, I've used either a fiber pad or a brush on my machine and gone over the carpet, pre-scrubbed, and then often go over the carpet again with another absorbent, a pad like this, a two-way or an Iron Man or whatever. But anyway, let's just talk about how exactly the shower fitting works. So the pad's on the carpet, and then you put your pad driver down on the pad, and this one's about the same size as the two-way pad. And the way that the rotary machine works is you got your tank here, you got your valve here where you pull that valve up, and the valve opens up and it dumps the solution down. And in this case, the solution will be dropping down right here. And most machines either are on this side or they're over just on the other side. But either way, it basically does the same thing. And what happens is it actually drops down right in here. And it doesn't drop down over here. If you had a center feed, it would. My other machine used to do that, but we won't even talk about that because most people would have a machine like this where it's going to shower feed down here. And what happens is as the machine is turning the pad driver, most of the solution actually is going to be coming out across the top of the pad, and it'll be flinging out. And ideally, if you're using the right amount, not oversaturating the pad, which you can do if you're careless, but if you don't, And I've shown this many, many times where I've cleaned for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, even up to an hour. And I'll take the pad off, and the whole top of the pad is dry. The only place where there's moisture on the pad will be on the outer edge and on the bottom, because I'm cleaning the carpet. I'm not soaking the top of the pad. So when people say you're just going to soak the pad, well, you can if you just dump your solution down and over wet the pad. But if you're understanding how to use the shower feeding, then you're not going to do that. So if anybody says that to you, they're speaking either out of ignorance or they're just being dishonest with you. So anyway, we'll hook this up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how little actual solution you're going to apply onto the carpet or the floor. Now, by the way, if you're doing a floor, you actually would use quite a bit less feeding down, because, well, it's not getting absorbed into a carpet as it would if you were doing carpet, obviously. So in a minute, I'm just going to adjust this. Now we're going to turn this on. So what's going to happen is I'm going to turn now. What's going to happen now is when I open the valve, you'll immediately see solution come out and go that way. So it's not actually going through the pad. Most of it is actually going beside the pad. There you go. See that? And it's off. Now it's on, and now it's off. Now I'm not going to put anything down. I don't need to. I'm going to put it on and then off. You can see what's happening. On and then off. I'm not on right now. I'll tell you when I turn it on. On and off. Now on a carpet, normally when I'm cleaning a carpet, I'll usually pull the valve on briefly each time I go to the right. Not always, but most of the time. But on a hard floor, it's different, and you can see what's happening. It's coming out very fast. So you really don't actually need very much solution on a hard floor, or even on a carpet, actually, which is one of the other advantages of shower feeding, is you end up using way less solution, and you end up with the carpet that's drier, and you have much more precise control of the amount of moisture that you're applying to the carpet. So there you go. We'll do this again. I'll tell you exactly how many times I turn the valve on. So now it's on, now it's off. 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 It's literally that rapid. Now it's on, now it's off. Now it's on, now it's off. Now it's on, now it's off. And you can see, it's on, now it's off. On, off. That's how little you actually need, at least on a hard floor. And you can see I put down plenty of solution there. Now, let's have a look at the pad. Did I soak my pad? Did I wash the solution through the pad and drive it into the backing, as some would suggest? Of course, it's filthy because I did my floor there. It's dry, totally dry. A slight amount of moisture over here, totally dry right across. Bone dry. How dry? Let's find out. I'll take some paper towel here. Hang on a minute, because you want to see it. Let's prove it. Because somebody might say, oh, you're faking it. Okay, there's the paper towel. Put my hand on it. I'm pressing. Pressing. Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. My point is that when you do this right, the shower feeding, using a rotary, you will not soak your pad on the top. You will not be washing the dirt through and into the backing of the carpet. It'll continue to absorb and draw the soil up and out, and I've been doing it this way for over 30 years now, and it works fantastic. So hopefully that will help to address any complaints or criticisms of how those who shower feed do this type of cleaning with the SETT method. But that's how you do it, and it just is a very simple, effective method of cleaning. And when you do it the right way, and the greatest problem people have when doing the shower feeding, by the way, is they tend to overwet the carpet and they can overwet the pad. That you can do, but that's a matter of just getting used to doing it and learning to have the skill involved in doing it properly. So if you're overwetting your pad and you use it for a little while, and then you go and you put your hand on the pad, if it's soaking wet, you're definitely cleaning with way too much solution. It's operator error, not the method. So hopefully that helps to clear up any questions or concerns regarding this, doing it this way. This does work well. I've proven it. I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos showing how well this works consistently. And so if someone comes along and tells you that this doesn't work, notice that they don't actually provide a video, because I can prove that it works and they can't prove that it won't. So there you go. I hope that helps you, and hope that dispels any questions. Anyway, have a good day.